Railway workers are to take part in a 3-day national strike later this month, which could cause major summer travel disruption across the UK.
Yeah, this is the RMT Union saying it will shut down, that's their words, the country's railway network on the 21st, 23rd and 25th of June after talks over pay and redundancies fell through.
Well, let's get more from travel correspondent at The Independent, Simon Calder, who's at King's Cross Station for us. Very good morning to you, Simon. The biggest rail strikes in a generation. How significant is the disruption going to be?
I'm afraid at this stage it looks very, very bad indeed. I'm the only person among you and indeed your lovely audience who can remember 1989, the last time we had a really big national rail strike, but it was taking place pretty much same time of year, same basic issues, pay, conditions, jobs, the need from the government to modernise the railways, the refusal of the unions to countenance such a thing. Eventually it was settled with a very substantial pay rise, but only after many weeks of turbulence. Yes, what we've got here are strikes on Tuesday the 21st, Thursday the 23rd, Saturday the 25th of June, but also if you're travelling on the intermediate days, so that will be the Wednesday and the Friday, you can expect a lot of disruption then. It's involving Network Rail and 13 train operators, but the crucial part is Network Rail, which runs the stations, the big stations, and indeed the infrastructure, particularly the signalling. And if you haven't got signallers, you can't run a railway. There will be management and some other people brought in to run a skeleton service, but it will probably only cover about 20% of the network, and it may only be from about sort of 7 in the morning till 7 in the evening. So wherever you're going, it looks as though there's going to be very serious disruption, I'm afraid.
Yeah, we should stress, though, that talks are ongoing. What are you hearing, Simon, about the potential for a deal to be done to avoid the strikes?
Yeah, we're hearing lots of things, and I would love to be optimistic. Of course, nobody wants a rail strike. Life is tough enough already, and this is also coinciding with big events, a test match in Headingley in Leeds, Glastonbury, a couple of big gigs, Elton John and the Rolling Stones at Hyde Park, athletics championships in Manchester, all sorts of disruption. So, of course, everyone wants this settled, except, I suspect, the two sides. Now, let's not pretend that this is between the RMT Union and Network Rail and 13 train operators. It's the union against the government, which is now effectively in control of the entire rail system. And the words of Mick Lynch, the General Secretary of the RMT, he is basically talking about embarking on a long, sustained shutdown of the rail network. At the same time, the Transport Secretary, Grant Shapps, is saying, hey guys, wake up, we've had a pandemic, ticket sales, revenue down at least 25%. If we're going to stop relying on the subsidy, which was £1 million an hour during the COVID crisis to keep the railways running, that's taxpayers' money, we've got to reform. So both sides are a long way apart. And I tell you what, I don't think, of course, for all their public protestations, I think that they are both interested in seeing how it turns out. The union is betting that, yes, they can shut down the country. The government is thinking, hang on, we've probably got enough people who we can rely on, and people, of course, not needing to commute in the same numbers as they did before. We are probably going to see not a fully effective strike. So I think the first 3 days of strikes are going to go ahead, and then there will be some talks after that. But I'm kind of bedding in for a long summer of discontent, I'm afraid.
OK, I just finally wanted to ask, as objectively as possible, how legitimate would you assess the RMT Union's grievances to be when it comes to pay and conditions? I mean, how much sympathy can you give to them?
Well, look, they say, and I am quoting here directly from their Assistant General Secretary, the average wage for somebody working for the railways who belongs to the RMT is £24,000. They say they haven't had a pay rise for a couple of years. They also say there's going to be compulsory job losses. Network Rail Delivery Group, representing the train operators, say that's not correct. Of course, I want everybody in the whole country to have a pay rise in line with inflation. Of course I do, but I'm afraid I think that's not going to happen, particularly since this is taxpayers' money we are talking about.
It sounds gloomy for the summer then. Hey, listen, Simon, really good to see you. Thank you for joining us. That is the travel editor for The Independent, Simon Calder, there, predicting a summer of discontent.
Yeah, I suspect that won't be the last time we talk to Simon about that very issue.